Michael Neeley here, founder of The Infinite List and the Authority Academy, podcast coach and host of 6 of my own shows, an international best-selling author, here to share with you what I imagine could be the best business advice you're going to get in decades. By now, you should have a pretty good idea about how powerful a big list can be, and maybe you're starting to get a grasp on how to grow that list. In this segment, I'm going to dive into 7 ways people get exposure for their lead magnet and grow their list. And to be clear, I use all of these from time to time as they can be very effective. However, some are better than others. Some are easy to do. Some require more effort. Some get you leads for cheap or free, while others can be quite expensive. And some are consistent yet provide minimal growth, while others can provide a boatload of leads fast but aren't consistent at all. As a matter of fact, my partner Krista and I developed a ranking system based on 4 measurable elements for the effectiveness of getting your lead magnet seen. These elements are cost effectiveness. Are you getting your leads for free? Great. Reasonable? Good, but not necessarily great. Or are they expensive? It's risky at best. The cheaper you can get your cost per lead or your CPL, the better. Number 2, consistency. Is your lead flow like feast or famine with a bunch pouring in 1 month and then none for the next 2 months? Or is the flow consistent, bringing in leads on a regular basis no matter what the month or day? Next up, quantity. Are your leads trickling in where you may get 5 or 10 each week, or are they flowing in droves where you're getting hundreds every month? And finally, number 4, ease. I mean, let's face it, some lead generation methods are easy and some require a bit more labor. Or let's be real, a lot more labor. How much effort is it taking on your part to generate the leads you're getting? Now that you're familiar with the scale, let's rate these 7 methods based on those elements to come up with your best possible solution for ongoing list growth. But first, a final reminder. You will probably want to do almost all of these at some time or another, or even as part of your ongoing strategy. You'll have to be your own judge on what works best for you and your style of doing business. The top 7 ways to get your lead magnet seen are, number 1, your website. This one doesn't fare too well in our test parameters at all, as the leads are only going to trickle in, they're inconsistent, and they're going to require a good deal of time trying to optimize your search engine results to actually drive traffic to your website. Next up, social media. While this one ranks high in the free category, it too is inconsistent, and the leads only trickle in unless you're doing something to get more eyeballs on your posts, which leads to number 3, ads and paid posts. Now, this one quickly burns through money and gives it a very low score of the cost effectiveness scale. Plus, it isn't very consistent unless you're prepared to throw a lot of money at it on an ongoing basis. Number 4, virtual summits. Running a virtual summit can be cost effective. However, you lose out on the effort category as it takes a lot of work to run one. And if you're not the host, but only a guest expert, well, guess what? Your leads are going to drop off rapidly and the inconsistency battle is still there. Number 5, speaking from stage. Now, while there are certainly other benefits to this activity, it quickly drops down the ranking due to inconsistency, low quantity, and the amount of effort involved in both getting the stages, preparing, traveling, etc. Number 6, one of my faves, podcasting, both guesting and hosting. Now, as a podcast host and coach, I can tell you that the strategy is cost effective, but it requires a lot of effort. And it still only brings in sporadic results that tend to be closer to a trickle as opposed to a downpour. Next up, number 7, JV partnerships and promotions. I love JV partnerships. And perhaps that's how you ended up in my world in the first place. One of my partners may have referred you to me. However, the challenge with JVs is that they can be inconsistent unless you've got dozens of people who are willing and able to promote you all year long. And that takes a lot of work, wrangling your partners, getting on their calendar, sending them swipe copy, etc. To be certain, most entrepreneurs in the online coaching space, this industry we're in, have roller coaster income. You constantly hear stories of, hey, I just did a 6-figure launch or $1 million launch. And yes, that happens. But guess what? You'll collect a bunch of money for that launch, people who will pay for the entire year in advance. And then the revenue drops until you do the next big thing. And there's nothing wrong with this if you know it in advance and you plan for it. I mean, think about it. There are lots of even brick and mortar businesses that are seasonal. Summer lake resorts, winter ski slopes. Heck, even football franchises make a killing from September through January, but then nothing but expenses for quite a while. Realistically speaking, though, it can be hard to adjust to that kind of revenue flow if you're not good at planning and budgeting. You may find yourself in big trouble. Now, I've known several entrepreneurs who've fallen victim to this. Not fun. And sadly, many of these 7 methods I've just covered will provide you with roller coaster results. For example, a JV partner launch will drive a lot of traffic over a short period of time. You may grow your list and your income by thousands during this effort, but then you drop to nothing for the next several months. Thus, if you want to create a consistent flow of leads, raising their hand for your services and entering your world via your lead magnet, you've got to find the most cost effective, consistent, high quantity, easy to implement strategy that is available to you. Unfortunately, it's not among those 7 that I just covered. It just doesn't exist. Well, it didn't until I created it. Okay. I'm not going to go into it in this video as I really want to keep these short, but let me say this. Giveaways are a fabulous way to grow your list. That said, they also have their faults. For example, unless you're getting invited to be in one every month, well, they're not consistent. And some of them provide lackluster results while charging a steep fee to play. So let's just say that in the next video, I'm going to reveal what I did to upend the industry and turn giveaways into the no-brainer strategy of the 20s. You will not want to miss this video as I'm going to cover the pros and cons of giveaways, why you should be using them regularly as part of your list building efforts, and how to turn them into money-making machines for your business. All right, if you've already got an inkling of the power and you want to go directly ahead, you can join the Infinite List at the button below. Otherwise, click on the next video button and let's continue this training. I'll see you there.